Welcome back to Riffs Rasslin, where we talk about all things heavy metal and pro wrestling. I am your host, Willie, and we are joined today by my brother, Nick. What's going on?
What's going on, brother? Got an exciting episode, man. Megadeth, dude. What a career. What a legendary band, dude. And I'm looking forward to this one.
That's right. Today we're going to go in deep. We're diving in deep to the thrash metal giant Megadeth due to their recent announcement of doing their final album next year, along with a final global tour. Figured it was the perfect time to do a 4-part series of Megadeth, where we are going to be covering one decade at a time. What do you think about that, Nick?
I'm excited, dude. They put out a lot of great albums, a lot of great songs, dude. And like I said, man, what a legendary band. My favorite band of all time. And really looking forward to getting in with this, man. Diving in deep to these albums of the 80s. What we liked, what we didn't like, dude. And just yeah, man, I'm excited. I can't wait to do this.
Yeah, let's do it, man. I mean, Megadeth is both of our favorite bands, and I think this being our first series is meaningful to us. And yeah, I can't wait to just dive right in.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, of course, if you didn't know, Dave Mustaine of Megadeth was a founding member of Metallica. Unfortunately, in 1983, Dave Mustaine was fired from Metallica just prior to the band recording their debut album, Kill 'Em All. Ain't that something, Nick?
Didn't Mustaine have like half that album was like his shit, his riffs and his writing?
Yep, majority of this album and some songs on the upcoming Metallica albums was also written by Mustaine. And unfortunately, Mustaine told them not to use his riffs and his songs, but as every good band does, they still chose to use his songs and his riffs.
Yeah, of
So,
course. But I mean, come on, dude. It was Megadeth or Mustaine. It was his stuff, and of course they're gonna use it, dude, because this shit always kicked ass.
fuck yeah, I mean, it put Metallica on the map, and it just happened to be Mustaine's, material that did it. So take that for what you want. But yeah, he got kicked out of Metallica due to his substance abuse and personal conflicts with frontman James Hetfield of Metallica. But that didn't stop Mustaine, did it? He, in good old Mustaine fashion, he said, "Nah, I'm gonna create my own band and do what I want." That's exactly what he did, and basically, that's how Megadeth was formed.
I'm glad that he got kicked out, dude, because that gave us not only Metallica, but it gave us Megadeth as well. Because it would have been awesome if he would have stayed. Metallica would have been badass. They would have been better musicians for it. But I'm glad he got kicked out because therefore we did get Megadeth after all.
Yeah, I am very glad he got kicked out. I think, personally, I think Megadeth is a much better band all around. But of course, that is my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely, dude. They got much more in-depth guitar playing. More technicalities with Megadeth over Metallica, and I think overall Megadeth has stuck more towards the thrash roots than Metallica has. Metallica kind of branched out and did the whole commercial success thing in the '90s and whatnot. I mean, it's no fault of their own. Good on them. But I think Megadeth through and through have pretty much stuck to the thrash metal, elements that brought the band to the forefront.
Yep, I agree. I think Megadeth is a much more aggressive and poetic band. I hate to keep comparing them to, but with Dave being kicked out and all, you kind of have to. But fun fact, Nick, did you know what Megadeth was called before they were called Megadeth?
Oh my god, dude! I did know this.
I did. I knew it fucking 10 years ago and forgot it 10 years ago until now. So
What was it?
fucking Fallen Angels.
That's what it was. That's right. That's right. And I was like, when I first heard about that, I was like, wait, what? That's a stupid ass name.
Fucking Fallen Angels.
And you know what, dude? It is all in the name too, because you can have a great band, but if the band name sucks, it
throws you off.
Yeah, dude. I don't think bands really go as far as they probably could have gone if the name wasn't, better than what it was.
Yep. I agree. Completely agree. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna start with the 80s. They're formed in 83, and they kind of went through a couple lineups before they got to their studio lineup for their first record. They were interviewing, they had some friends that was playing with them, and it took them a while for somebody to stick. It took them almost 2 years to get like a good lineup worthy to record their first album.
If I'm not mistaken, it was on Megadeth's Behind the Music that came out years ago, and they were talking about how the band was formed and all that. And Dave Mustaine and Dave Ellefson were actually neighbors with each other. I believe Mustaine, I think, was on the bottom floor, and I think Ellefson was above him, or vice versa, whatever the hell. And Ellefson was trying to learn "Running with the Devil" from Van Halen, and Mustaine said all he would hear coming from Ellefson's apartment was the dong, 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 and he was just like, Jesus Christ, man, can you stop playing that? And that's pretty much how they got to know each other, was through Ellefson trying to figure out how to play "Running from the Devil."
And I guess the rest is history from that, huh?
Hell yeah! And also, fun fact too: did you know the drummer Gar Samuelson on this album? He was an actual jazz drummer. He was not metal or hard
Mm,
rock at all.
that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
It,
they got jazz player doing fucking thrash metal.
I mean, it fit for how fast this fucking record is. But before we get into it, overall, Nick, before we get into this four part series, right? Megadeth as a whole, what comes to mind when you think of Megadeth for you?
For me personally, it brings me to like a good place in like my overall well being, my state of thought, because Megadeth, along with several other bands, but primarily Megadeth, have been there with me through the good times and the bad times, you know what I mean? And it's the first band that I really invested myself into, really got like um, hardcore into them. And it really, every song and every album, that I would listen to growing up was something that hit home for me. And I don't know exactly like how to say it, how to put it into words, but it was definitely a band that was there through the thick and thin. And I truly, honestly, 100% appreciate Megadeth for that.
I agree. I mean, growing up with you, man, I think I can't even think about the earliest memory of Megadeth for me. I was just a kid and it was just playing.
Right.
It's hard to even think about what was the first song or how old was I. But for you, do you have a specific time frame when you first heard Megadeth?
God, dude, it must have been probably when I was 10 years old, maybe, and hearing Symphony of Destruction come on the radio. And at the time, it was like all the hype, all the rage was that album, Countdown to Extinction. And that song, when that song and video came out, it was just fucking everywhere, dude. It was like their version of Enter Sandman from Metallica. You know what I mean? Like that put Megadeth on the map, on the commercial success, I should say. And that shit was just everywhere. And I think if I can remember correctly, that was like probably about 10 years old when I first heard that song, because that album came out in what, 92?
92. Yep.
Something like that. So I must have heard it 94, 93, 94 ish. So yeah, that's probably as far back as I go. Megadeth, maybe even earlier, but that's what I remember best.
Right. Yeah. I mean, 40 years of metal, we're going to dive right into it.
Let's do it, man. Debut
Let's do
album
it.
from Megadeth, dude. Killing is my business, and business is good.
This is good. This came out in 1985, and it had a total of, what was it, 8 songs? 8 songs on this album, and we're going to go track by track, song by song, and kind of break down. Like I said, we're going to do a 4-part series. So this first part is the 80s. We're going to do 90s, the 2000s. Then we're going to go to the 2010s to the current. And we're going to go through each album, and we're going to go track by track. And if you're not a Megadeth fan, hopefully after this episode you are, because you're going to have a lot of information. And I think it's good that we're breaking this down into 4 parts. So.
Yeah, dude, this is a heavy metal, hard rock, pro wrestling podcast. And if you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube and you don't know who Megadeth is, you are fucking sad, brother. You need to get out from under the rock and hear you some Megadeth, dude.
I agree. I mean, I encourage you all to, in the comments, just tell us what your favorite songs are on each of these albums. We'll be curious to know too.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, let's get into it, Nick. First song, Last Rites, Loved to Death. What do you think about this one?
I thought it was a good, strong opener, especially for the debut album for Megadeth. The first song that you're going to hear on this record, you're in the record store, right? And you're going through the records and you see the cover of this album and you're like, dude, what the hell is this? Like maybe you heard through the radio or through tape trading, there's a band called Megadeth. It's got the former guitarist of Metallica, you know what I mean? Maybe you want to check it out. But even if you didn't know the backstory and the history of that, but you're at the record store and you're flipping through and you see that cover art, you're just like, dude, this album must be kicked ass, dude. And that first song that you hear, Dude, Last Rites, Love to Death, I think is a great, strong opener. That whole eerie piano part at the beginning kicked right into that fast ass riff, dude. And then here comes the drums right into it. I think it was a solid opener for Megadeth's debut album. What'd you think?
I agree, man. That opening piano is eerie, and it's what song is that? What I
Oh,
don't know what
shit.
exact song that is in the opening where they're playing into, but it fucking worked. It was a fucking hell of an opening, and then just fucking Mustaine's, he just got fired, and this is his first song on the record to show up as, and it just melts your face off. I think this album, I think this song set the tone for the album to be more of a speed metal album than a thrash metal album.
I agree. This album as a whole was 100% speed metal, and you want to throw bands in like now they've never said that they were metal; they were always rock and roll. But Motorhead, I think, was
Mm-hmm.
probably like the first speed metal-ish band in my
Yeah.
opinion. And then you have some of the other acts from the UK as well. But yeah, this is definitely a fucking speed metal album.
I agree, man. I This first song, comes in right under 5 minutes, and that opening I think is probably a minute long, and then the remaining 3 minutes is just nonstop in your face. And for anyone like you said, come across this album in what 85 this came out and saw that cover, and then they've played that first track,
Mm-hmm.
you're like, wow, holy shit, what am I listening to?
So, a quick little search. That piano part at the beginning of that song was actually performed by Dave Mustaine on the record, and it's from Johann Sebastian Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor. Probably fucking butchered that name, but it's actually a Johann Sebastian Bach song that Dave Mustaine actually played on piano for that record.
Interesting. I knew it sounded somewhat familiar. Buck and Mustaine to be playing piano like that?
Yeah.
Why? Why are you doing?
Well, isn't playing guitar and playing piano kind of similar in nature?
It can be. It's the same chords and shit. So yeah, it's pretty similar.
So I
Just
guess if you're a
practice.
decent enough guitar player, you can be kind of a decent enough piano player in a way, I guess.
You can. Yep. Yep.
But yeah, we both agree
Um,
that Last Rites Love to Death is a strong opener.
yeah, and it leads us right into track number 2, Killing Is My Business, and Business is Good.
Title track.
Um, again, you couldn't. This song is nearly perfect for this album, I
Hmm.
think, and just the name itself is memorable.
Yeah. And you could definitely tell throughout this record too that Mustaine does have that chip on his shoulder about getting booted from Metallica, and this is pretty much like a big fuck you,
Yep.
especially later on the last song on the album. We'll get into that, but uh you could definitely like feel the intensity and the anger that Dave Mustaine had throughout the entire record. And
Yep.
for Killing is business is good. It's like, it's almost in a way him saying that I'm going to go out there and I'm going to, kill my competition. I'm going to go out there and make a name for myself and let it be known that Megadeth will be here to stay. And I think this song was indicative of that idea that Dave Mustaine must have had.
Yeah, and I think this song and one other song on this album was the factor of putting Megadeth on the map so early. This song was very different than what Metallica was doing.
I agree. I agree. This definitely set the bar and put themselves in a league of their own. Like you're always going to compare Metallica and Megadeth because of the history with each other, but stylistically and lyrically, they're both two completely different bands. And this album and this song in particular shows that Mustaine is just that much more aggressive and maybe better than
Mm-hmm.
Metallica was at this time, and it was definitely a staple piece for sure.
Yeah, and just to remind everyone, this album came out in '85, and this album has no right to be this fast.
Yeah,
In
especially with the jazz
'85,
drummer, dude.
exactly. Yeah, they played their hearts out. Speaking of, before we get too far, we didn't introduce the members of this whole entire album.
Well, you got Dave Mustaine, you got Dave Ellefson, you got Chris Poland, and you got Gar Samuelson on drums. So,
There you go.
and
And
fun fact that we're going to get into in later episodes of this series, but Chris Poland actually came back and played for Megadeth on Megadeth's reunion of sorts. You know, Dave Mustaine coming back from his arm injury, but yeah,
yep,
that was the personnel. Not my favorite personnel when it comes to Megadeth overall,
no,
but for what this was for, it worked.
yep. Let's move on to track number 3, "The Skull Beneath the Skin." I personally fucking love this song.
It's a good song, dude. It really is.
It
Another fast ass song, you know.
it
Um,
is.
One thing that I think we're leaving out too is how good Ellison's bass playing is on this record. And I think that's a
Mm-hmm.
thing that's missing from not only metal in general, but like all forms of rock and roll, is the bass gets lost in transition. You know what I mean? Like you can't hear it as well as you could like in some of these earlier albums from some of these other bands. And it's refreshing to hear, you know, the bass playing behind the guitar, because you forget sometimes that there's just a bass player in a band, right? It just all
Yeah,
sounds the same, it's all muddled. But in this album in particular, you could really hear Ellison's guitar playing, his bass playing, and I really respect that they chose to have that such strong bass influence on this album.
I think they really needed it coming from what Mustaine was giving. He was giving that thrashy speed style playing, and there's not much room to have a rhythm and a bass section in the guitar, right? So he needed that bass to kind of put it over the edge. And with a drummer that's a drummer too, he's gonna be playing fast as fuck too. So then you definitely need a bass to kind of bring it all together. So very smart move for both of them to increase that bass.
And I think their style too of Mustaine's playing and Ellison's playing was really complementary of each other as well.
Yep, I agree. But yeah, I think this song kicked fucking ass.
Yeah, it did, dude. This was another one. I mean, all the songs on this album are fast as fuck, you know, and they all got their elements. Some stick out more than others, but I
Mm-hmm.
do agree that this song was really good as well.
All right. And for those of you that don't know, earlier bands, um, mostly in the 80's, did a side 1 and side 2 on their records. And track 4 was the end of side 1. And track 4 is called These Boots, which is a cover. What do you think about this song, Nate?
It's a Nancy Sinatra cover, dude. You know, it's once you've heard the song once, you've heard it over and over again. Um, I know that he changed the lyrics around a little bit in the song too, kind of made it his own, and I think it's kind of funny. I think this was a statement piece to Metallica. You know that these boots are gonna walk all over you. You know, so I get
Mm,
where he was coming from on this, but it's a whatever track. You know, more of a filler in my opinion.
yeah, I agree. Don't know if he really cared about side 1 and side 2, but I don't think if you're caring about that, I don't think this should have been a final song on side 1.
No, I
But
agree with that too. It shouldn't have been. Maybe like have this towards the tail end of the record. You got what 8 songs on here? Maybe have this be like song 6. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But yeah, to be the end of side 1 is kind of shit.
yep. Well, that leads us to side 2. Track number 5, Rattlehead.
I like
Exactly
this
what you
song.
is exactly what the title is.
Yeah,
It definitely makes you want to headbang. And we were talking a little bit. This song has a very familiar style of the first song, Last Rites.
it does. Yeah,
That
if people out there go and listen to both songs, "Last Rites Love to Death" and "Rattlehead," the main riff of the guitar sounds almost identical to each other. Like maybe a note here or there changed, and maybe a different style of picking or whatever the case, but definitely sounds similar to the very first song on the record.
Yes, I agree. I think the main riff of Rattlehead is, I don't know what it is about it, but it fucking gets you pumped right off the bat. And
It's a good
it's
way to start side 2.
exactly, it's just a really like a fuck you song.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love it.
Yep, I agree too. This is a good a good pit song. You know,
Yes.
as soon as the song comes on, dude, you're in that pit fucking shit up.
Now we've seen Megadeth a few times now. what I've read on his more recent tours, he's been playing this song,
I
and
have heard that, and he's also brought back The Conjuring too,
that's right.
playing that
So
on a few select dates.
hopefully on his farewell tour, he plays that one because I'll be fucking sick to hear live.
You know, it'd be kind of hard to do. You wouldn't necessarily like be selling out, arenas doing this, but it'd be kind of nice for like a residency, maybe a Megadeth residency in Vegas or something. If you would have like the top two or three songs on each record played live. And I'm not
Yeah,
talking about the hits necessarily because we've all heard Hangar 18, we've all heard City Destruction, but some of the deeper cuts on an album that are still like as popular as the radio songs were, you know what I mean? Or the songs that Megadeth's known for, I think would be lit. And Rattlehead, I think, is definitely one that fits in that category.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a perfect length song. Just under four minutes, and you don't need anything more with this song. It gave us everything that we need.
Kind of a long song too for like a speed metal album.
It is. It is. Let's move along. Let's go to track 6, Chosen Ones. What you think about this one?
This, to be honest with you, I don't remember this one as well as I do all the other songs.
No.
Um, it's a whatever song,
Yeah.
it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's good, but I think as the album progresses and as the album flows, they all kind of start. I won't say sound similar, but you know what you're getting from track to
Mm-hmm.
track.
Yep. I agree. Like you said, I didn't really care too much about this one. I think it being, track 6 was a perfect placement for this. If it wasn't this one, it would be These Boots.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, it's a 2 minute and 54-second song. It wasn't meant to be anything special.
yeah, I agree. Moving on to Looking Down the Cross.
Look it down the cross. Now this one is a fun fucking song.
It is. This is a really fun song. You know what's funny too is knowing how Dave Mustaine is like a born again Christian and all that now.
Yep.
You wouldn't think that Mustaine would have a song titled this, but back
Yep.
then, it was all sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yep.
And Looking Down the Cross, I think, is a fitting title for that track because that track is pretty damn good, dude.
It is. It's a really good fucking track. And funny that you said that. Man, where was it? This song was actually called something else. It was called like "See No Evil" or like something like that.
Really, I did not know that.
Yeah, and after his lineup changed a few times before he got this lineup on this record, he had to change up the lyrics a bit too. And I do believe a lot of these songs on this record, which we're going to be getting into, track 8 here. But besides track 8, a lot of these songs were actually songs that he wrote for Metallica, and he had
Mm-hmm.
to change them. He had to change the chorus. He had to change the verse. He had to make it faster, which we're gonna get into. But yeah, very interesting.
Imagine if Mustaine never got kicked out and these songs, instead of being a part of Megadeth discography, was a part of Metallica's discography, and how much of a different band Metallica would have been.
100%. It's
Like,
weird to
that's
even think
crazy.
about.
It is,
Yep,
isn't it?
it
Like,
is.
you have these songs, but a Metallica name over them would be fucking weird.
It wouldn't fit.
No, it wouldn't fit. But Looking Down the
uh,
Cross is a hell of a song, though.
it is. It is. I think that is one of the best ones on the entire record.
I think you can hear a lot of influence too on this album and Metallica's debut, Kill 'Em All. I think you can hear a heavy Venom influence.
Yep. Yep. I agree. I mean, that it was around that same time, man. I mean, Venom was what, 5, 6, 7 years deep now?
They formed it in, I believe, 79. I think the debut album came out in 81, I think it was.
Yeah, so
By the time this came out, I think Venom already had 3 albums out, I think it was.
exactly. Yeah,
But yeah, you could definitely hear the fucking influence on both Metallica and Megadeth at this time frame.
you can. Oh, let's close it out, Nick. What's track number 8?
Mechanics, brother, aka the Four Horsemen Part 2, brother.
Sure is. What a way to speed up the Four Horsemen, huh?
Dude, like, you want to talk about like a fucking speed metal, dude? This song is on crack, bro. If you went and you heard, which a lot of people did, if you went and heard the Four Horsemen first, you're like, dude, this song is badass. It's got that great gallop fucking, riff to it. And then you go and listen to Megadeth's Mechanics, you're like, holy shit, this thing is spun up, dude, But I think it's a fitting song to end the record. I think it's a fitting song for Mustaine to say last time, fuck you, to his former, bandmates of Metallica, dude. And I think Mechanics is a fucking great song. I don't know What would you choose? Would you choose Four Horsemen or Mechanics? Which song, if you had a gun to your head and you had to choose one song, one version of this song, would it be Mechanics or
Man,
Four Horsemen?
probably Mechanics for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's a tough one,
yeah.
isn't it?
It's tough, and it all goes down to what the song is, because I think this song is different, right?
Yeah,
It's not the same, and I think it's meant to be that on purpose, of course. And I think if you're not a Megadeth fan and you're not a Metallica fan, you would never even know that these two were meant to be the same fucking song.
agreed. And also, too, it's not the first time. Well, I should say this wouldn't be the last time that fucking Megadeth and Mustaine have kind of stuck it to Metallica. They've done some other things in the past too. But this was definitely a song of like, okay, you want to kick me out of the band? I was a founding member of the band. You want to take my shit and use it? Well, here, take this, and I'm gonna speed it up times 10. Fuck you, you know.
Yep, yep. It was a perfect way to end their debut record.
I agree, 100%.
So before we move on, we gotta go through our favorites. What is your favorite song on this album?
Oh man, if I had to choose, dude, I would say probably Mechanics is my favorite, just because you always remember the first and last song on a record. You know, you have the stuff in the middle, of course, but you're always going to remember how the album starts and how the album finishes. And I always thought that Metallica was a great finishing band. Like what I mean by that is every song, especially on their earlier records of Metallica's, they always had a great song to end the record with. And I think Mechanics is that song for Megadeth. I think it was a great way to close out the debut album for them.
And I second you. I think Mechanics is my favorite song on this record. Very close second would be Rattlehead for me, though.
Yeah, for me, I think probably Last Rites would be up there. Rattlehead and Last Rites are like 1A and 1B, you know, or
Yeah.
2A, 2B. Um, but I agree that Rattlehead's a really good song too. Overall, the album flowed. It was fast as hell. It goes by in a blink of an eye. It's only 31 minutes and 10 seconds long, but it goes by, I think, a lot faster than that. Other than These Boots, which you said was just a whatever filler, from
Mm-hmm.
song to song, it really flowed well. My question to you is, which debut album do you like better, this one or Kill 'Em All?
I like this one better.
See, I'm more of a Kill 'Em All fan. I think Kill 'Em All
Mm-hmm.
was a better overall record. And again,
Yeah,
why was that? Because the majority of it was written by Mustaine.
exactly. Yep. I like the aggression that this album gave, though. I think that's why I choose it over, because I you can feel the energy that Mustaine put into this, and
Yep.
for me, that's what sold me.
Yep. I agree. I agree. This was definitely a very aggressive record, and you can feel it from Mustaine's vocals, his
Mm-hmm.
lyrical writing, that he was in a tough place in his life, but it was the start of something remarkable as well.
I agree. Best album or best song on this album? Do you think it's different in our favorites?
Not for me. I think the best song on this album is Mechanics.
Yeah,
What about you?
I I think so too. I think it's meant to be the best song on this album. Like you said, it was a good fuck you, and it proved this point.
Yep, I agree 100%. Good debut album.
Very good debut album. All right, you ready to move on to the next one?
Let's do it. 1 year later.
Uh, 1 year later, and what a difference this album is. 1986, Peace Sells, but who's buying?
I think that this should have been Megadeth's debut record.
I agree. I
From
agree.
the classic writing and the riffage and the way the band has progressed in just a short amount of time,
Yep.
and the commercial success that this album found as well, I think to me this is probably their debut album. Killing is will always be, but I think this is the album that they should have let off their career with. Was this album?
Yeah, I think they got the rust off of their first album and really came into this album fucking swinging. You
Yeah,
know, I think they had a better record deal. They had better pressure of creating something more not not radio, but more put together, right, and more quality.
yeah. The production was definitely better.
Yes, 100% better. And I think they fucking nailed it, dude.
This is the last album too, by the way, for Chris Poland and Gar Samuelson
Yes, it
for
is.
Megadeth.
Yes, it is. Um, let's just get right into it, man. We have 8 songs on this album as well. And, the first song, Wake Up Dead. What a way to fucking set the tone of this album, huh?
This song, "Wake Up Dead," is probably my top 5 favorite Megadeth songs of all time. I love at the middle of it the fucking riff when it breaks down, dun 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 dun. Dun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, I know if I'll wake her, I'll wake up dead. It's like, dude, that's fucking hilarious. Um, I think this is a strong, as we just mentioned. You need to have a strong opener and a strong closer to an album. This
Yep.
I couldn't think of a better song to open up this record with "Wake Up Dead."
Nope. This song has like 3 different elements in it for only a 3 minute and 40-second song.
Yep,
And it's not like all over the place like you would think it would be. It fucking works. And it just shows you how, Dave's mind works of making a song. Because this song alone, he still plays this live, and it's a good reason why.
yep.
It's a damn near perfect fucking song.
It is. I think this is one of like the top. I don't know. It's got to be at least a top 10 song when it comes to thrash metal riffs.
Yep.
This is an iconic song. Anybody who's a thrash metal fan, you don't even have to be a Megadeth fan, but just a thrash metal fan, they know
Yep.
this fucking riff, dude. That's how iconic this song is.
It is. It is. And I mean, to put this as number one,
Yeah, yeah,
like, holy shit.
dude. I know. This is a great fucking opener, dude. A great punch to the
Fuck.
fucking head. And let's go. Let's get
I
that
know.
pit. Let's fuck it up.
Yep. Yep. I mean, and then you go to track number 2, the Conjuring, and I don't know what type of drugs he was on when he was doing this, but this album is a eerie album. It's a very atmospheric theme to it.
This album's kind of all over the place.
It is, and it just fucking worked, dude. Because this song, track 2, it's a different song than you would think from Megadeth.
Yeah, this was definitely a much different song than we've heard Megadeth do up until this point. Same thing goes for "Good Morning Black Friday" and "I Ain't Superstitious." I think too are songs that like are kind of like weird in a way for
Mm-hmm.
Megadeth to do.
It is.
Did they really like fit on the album? Maybe, maybe not. But the Conjurings, for me personally, it's an okay song. It's good, but it
Yeah.
doesn't hold up to like "Wake Up Dead." Let's say.
No, not at all. To be after Wake Up Dead, uh, I would put that probably a little bit down the list a little bit more,
For sure.
but it's not a bad song though.
It's not, but it's more of a song of like, kind of get up and stretch and take a break for a second to where as, Wake Up Dead, you're ready to go. You know what I mean? You're ready
Mm-hmm.
to like move. And then to kind of like have the Conjuring come around and be like, yeah, okay, I guess,
Right. Yep.
but whatever. But, it's decent for what it is, but I don't know if I'd put it number 2.
Right. Nope. Moving on to number 3, Peace Sells. Now, I think this is where we start to get Megadeth's theme of what we know them now, of a more political band,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Absolutely. The whole music video to the song too.
Mm-hmm.
The lyrics, peace sells, but who's buying,
Yep.
it was definitely a very punctual song in the time frame that it came out because, with everything going on around the world at this time. And the iconic bass opening from Ellefson for this song,
Oh yeah.
the kick drum, dun, 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 I don't know, dude. This song to me is an anthem.
It
When this
is.
song comes on live, you have no choice but to stand up and fucking shout it from the top of your fucking lungs, dude.
I agree. 100%. I mean, I don't, like you said, this album is over the place, and to have this song on this album, because like the first album was a lot more punkish, right? You have it like
Oh
Stick of
yeah,
Man, fucking fuck you, fuck that. And then you have Peace Sells, and you're like, wait, who are you saying fuck you to?
yeah,
It kind of makes you think. And then
it
the
did.
rest of the album, there's really no more much political,
Yeah, this
you
was
know?
definitely a song that I agree with you. Showed like where Megadeth and Mustaine were thinking and were headed to.
Yep.
Does the song itself fit on the record? Musically, yes, but
Yeah.
lyrically, not at all.
No. Nope. I agree. But I mean, I think it was the perfect song to name it after.
I think it's great too. The song itself, you got that really simple fucking riff, that kind of like starts it off, and then halfway through the song, it clicks over, and now they kind of speed it up a little bit more, and then
Yeah.
it goes into the final, peace, peace sells. Great fucking song.
Yep.
Again, another anthem song. When this song's played live, you stand up, you cheer, you sing it, you feel fucking great for doing so. Kudos to Mustaine and the boys for putting this one out, man. Great fucking song.
Couldn't have said it better. Number 4, Devil's Island. This song, you just want to yell. Devil's Island.
You know what's funny? I said Wake Up Dead is probably my top five Megadeth. This song is
Yeah.
also in my top five Megadeth.
Is it really?
I love Devil's Island, dude. I love
Okay.
this song so much, dude. I really fucking do. It's so fun to listen to.
It
It's fun to
is.
like hum in your head,
Yep.
to like sing along to. It's a
Yep.
very fun fucking song, dude. And like this at the time that this album and this song was released, this really like made thrash metal kind of cool in a sense of
Mm-hmm.
like you don't have to be a hardcore metal fan to enjoy this. This is just a fun overall song.
Yep. I
You know,
agree. Uh, 1986, you had Slayer, killing it. You had Master of Puppets came out in 86, right?
I believe so. Yeah,
I mean, these hard hitting thrash albums, and then you have a song like Devil's Island, which is fun as fuck
it is.
and is
And
different.
it's funny that you mentioned Metallica and Slayer too, because at the time that all these guys were putting out all their albums, each band sounded different. They weren't trying to copy each
Yep.
other. They weren't taking from each other. They were doing stuff that sounded and was lyrically and musically different than what the other bands were doing. And same thing with Anthrax. If you want to throw Anthrax in there because of the Big Four, you know what I mean, that came out at this time. Anthrax was more punkish. You know what I mean? Anthrax lyrically too was much more punkish, than thrash. But they had thrash elements within the
Yep.
band.
I
But
agree.
every band was different, dude. That's what was so exciting about this time period in metal and American thrash metal is that every band sounded different, dude, and there was something fresh that you can go and listen to that they weren't sounding like they do nowadays, dude. You listen to the fucking radio, it's all carbon copy, it all sounds like shit. It's all the same fucking overproduced garbage. But at this time frame, dude, every band was sounding different and doing their own fucking thing, dude, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
80s thrash, that's what made it fun. And it's fun again to go back and listen to all these different bands from that
Yes.
same time, because
Yes.
it's like you said, now you have the same overproduced production and they all sound the same now.
Yep.
But back then you didn't. You had different styles of playing. You had different record companies that were making different sounds. They weren't all just in it for the same sound.
Right.
But yeah, that song alone, Devil's Island, it was just different. It was fun.
So a little bit of a side quest here for a second. Um, Out of the big four that we named for American thrash at this time, right? Megadeth, Metallica, Slayer, and Anthrax. Would you say Mustaine is the better guitar player of all four bands?
Oh fuck.
Because you got Kirk Hammett and James Hetfield, right? Kirk plays lead. Hetfield plays more rhythm, kind of like Mustaine does. Mustaine's more of a rhythm guy. You got Kerry King and Jeff Hanneman in Slayer, and then you got fucking Scott Ian over at Anthrax, but the other guy I can't remember his fucking name.
Yeah.
Um, would you say Mustaine overall is a better guitarist out of all four of those bands?
Me personally, I would say yes.
Yeah.
I would. I think I would put Slayer as a close second.
Yes, 100%.
I think Slayer and Megadeth had a very different sound, so
Yeah.
they're on a different podium.
Yep.
They're not on the same step.
Yep.
So I think they're in what they have produced and what they have made. They're the best at it.
I agree. I think Slayer is a very strong second, dude. Hanneman and Kerry King together, dude, were just
Yep,
fucking
beast.
amazing, and they had iconic riffs, yeah, iconic grooves, within the band Slayer. But I would have to agree, dude. I think overall Mustaine just kind of takes the cake, dude, because
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, all four of those bands, they all have iconic songs and songs that you remember, and there's a good reason why you remember them. But as just a stylistically, I think Mustaine kind of edges them out, not by much, but
Mm-hmm.
just enough, just enough.
He does he does just that. He has just enough to put him over the edge. And it's the way he arranges his songs, it's the way they sound, and it's just he has the rhythm section of his songs, I think, makes the fucking song because he doesn't stop. He doesn't play like one chord. He plays a chord with like 14 notes, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a lot different.
Yep, I agree with you. And going back to the album and to the song "Devil's Island," man, I like again. I love this song. This is another song that you want to get up and sing along to and hum along to, and it's just fucking iconic.
It is, and that's the end of side one. And we start side two with track number 5, Good Morning Black Friday. For me, I thought this song was good, but it was too long.
Way too long, dude. Like maybe 2.5 minutes too long.
Yep, yep. The opening was a very, very, very long opening. I think it's like a 3-minute opener.
Yeah, it's a little too fucking long, dude. Like they were really fucking hammered when they recorded this song.
I don't know what the fuck the song even means, but
It's
but yeah.
I guess he's ready for morning because it's Black Friday. You want to go save on them gills. No, I get where they're coming from on this song. Again, this one, The Conjuring, maybe even Bad Omen would be like a Venom song
Yeah,
that I could hear Venom do. Um, that's why I brought up Venom earlier about being an influence on these bands because you can tell it, you can hear it.
yeah.
But Good Morning Black Friday it's okay. Too long, as you said, but it's okay.
Yep, just okay. Um, Track number 6, Bad Omen. Uh, didn't do much for me. What about you?
Same. No, same. To be honest with you, unless I go back and hear it, I wouldn't tell you what Bad Omen sounded like. I really don't.
Yeah, I think this was a filler song. I mean, you had all these songs already: "Wake Up Dead," "The Conjuring," "Peace Sells," "Devil Island." So it's like now you got to put something there, right?
Yeah, I agree. This
I think that was one of
was
them.
just there to be there.
Yep, I agree.
Same thing
And
with I
then,
Ain't Superstitious. I think that song too. Just like These Boots on the debut record,
yep,
it was just like put there for whatever the fuck reason. I don't know, but it was like put there. Did you know, by the way, that this song originally was from the '60s and it was a fucking blues song?
that makes a lot more fucking sense.
And not only that too, but Jeff Beck covered this
Mm-hmm.
song, covered this song from the original song from the '60s, and then Megadeth covered Jeff Beck's and the original's '60s version and kind of made it their own.
Of course he did.
But it was
Yeah,
all right.
yeah, I was like, this song. It was a groovy song, and I don't think it fit on this album. I think this should have been like a extra song, like a bonus song, but not on the album.
I agree. This maybe could have been like on a box set of like B-sides that were like lost, like a lost tapes collection.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't give a shit about this one.
Well, it's our closing song, track 8, "My Last Words."
Before I give my opinion, what's your opinion on this song?
I actually love this fucking song.
I think it's a very underrated song. I don't think it gets enough love that people think
Yep.
when they think of Megadeth, they don't think of this song, and I think it's a
Yep.
misjustice for the song.
I think this song might be in my top 3 of this album.
Yeah, I'd put it up there like that too. To be honest with
Yep.
you, I
Yep.
would.
I think it's a good closer, and I didn't realize it was 5 minutes. It must have been that good that you didn't realize it was fucking a 5 minute song.
It
But
flies by.
it did. It was a strong finisher.
I agree. You couldn't have asked. Again, you need a good opener and a good closer, and I think My Last Words is another good closer, just like Mechanics was on the debut.
Yep, yep, I agree. So what's your favorite song on this album?
That's a tough one for me, dude. I think for me personally, it's "Wake Up Dead." That's my favorite song on this record. It's a great opener, dude. And again, going back to that riff and just how fun it is to listen to, I think for me personally, "Wake Up Dead."
I agree. My favorite is "Wake Up Dead." It would go "Wake Up Dead," "Peace Sells," and probably "My Last Words" for me.
For me, it would go "Wake Up Dead," "Devil's Island," and "Peace Cells."
Perfect. Yep. I mean, overall, I think this album kicked ass. To say what their best song on this album is, as a commercial standpoint, as a music like critic, not my personal favorite. I think the best song is probably Wake Up Dead.
I agree to a point, but I think Peace Sells was smart
Oh
for it to be the
yeah,
fucking debut, not debut, but the track that came off of this album, like video wise
yeah,
and shit. I
that
think
makes
it was
sense.
smart for them to do Peace Sells.
That makes total sense. Yep. Well,
Good record
that
overall, though.
I mean, this record kicked ass. I enjoy it. I go back from time to time and listen to it.
Yep, I agree.
All right. Well, we're gonna close out our 80s, our first episode, our last album on the first episode. This came out in 1988. So far, so good. So what? Nick, before we get right into it, what's your overall opinion on this album?
I personally don't like this album. Um, I think it kind of gets lost in the shuffle because from Peace Sells, and then you got Rust in Peace that kicks off the '90s. I think this album kind of gets lost in there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to put this album up against And Justice for All, I think And Justice for All kicks this album's ass, in my personal opinion.
Yep, I
Um,
agree.
Although I will say though, In My Darkest Hour is one of my top 10 favorite Megadeth songs, and I think it's a song that everybody must listen to. It's that good of a song, in my opinion. The other song that I think as well in this record that is doesn't get enough love is Hook and Mouth.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, but this album doesn't do much for me overall.
Um, this album for me, I would say it's not complete. Um, they didn't complete this album at all. It was a very thrown together album, and what I read, um, even Mustaine and who was it, Poland, they were battling some heavy drugs at this time, and Mustaine couldn't even stand up like straight and record.
Yeah, this is Samuelson and Poland got kicked out after Peace Sells because of drug abuse, like heavy drug abuse. And this album brought on Jeff Young and what the hell was the drummer's name? Chuck something. I think the drummer's name was. But I don't think
Yep.
it was a cohesive unit. I don't think this version of Megadeth, personnel wise, really uh, hit the mark, so to say.
No.
Um, this album is a disappointment. I'm sorry, but it
Yeah,
is.
this album is, like I said, incomplete. Was never finished. I think you could take half of these songs off and put in something better. Let's track one, Into the Lungs of Hell. I personally like the song. The instrumental I thought was fucking beautiful, and it's different for me to start with a instrumental, but they did, and that song, I fucking love that fucking song.
Yeah, it's a good song. Don't get me wrong. I don't remember it as well as, let's say, like Hook and Mouth or My
Yeah,
Darkest Hour, but
yeah,
it's a solid opener. Not as good as
yeah,
the previous albums with their openers, but it's
right.
good. It's good.
And then track number two, Set the World Afire. I actually really dig that song too.
It's another good one. And then I think from here it kind of goes sideways for them,
Yes, it did.
for the rest of the tracks. But I think Set the World Afire should have been the opening song to this album.
Yeah, I agree.
If not this, then Hook and Mouth.
Yep, yep. Um, I could do without the Sex Pistol cover. I could
Again, another
do,
cover on the record.
yeah. Like I said, this record did not make fucking sense. Number four, Mary Jane.
This didn't do shit for me. This song.
No, not at all. This was actually one of the first songs that Mustaine ever wrote for Megadeth, but it never got onto a record. Probably,
There's a good reason why.
yeah, exactly. And then track number five is 502, which I think is the fucking most stupid fucking song he's ever fucking wrote.
I don't even remember this song.
You
That's how
don't
bad
need,
I guess it is.
yeah, don't go back. He was probably on all his fucking shooting up when he was fucking doing the song. I don't, who fucking knows? But yeah, not a good song. And then of course, probably for everybody, the superstar of this entire album is In My Darkest Hour.
Did you know that Mustaine originally wrote this song as a tribute to Cliff Burton of
Yep.
Metallica?
Yep.
And then some personal shit happened in his life, and he kind of switched it around and kind of made it more of a personal song. But this was supposed to be a dedication, a tribute to Cliff Burton.
It was. It was. I mean, it was a beautiful fucking song.
It's a great fucking song. Lyrically and musically, it's amazing.
Yep,
Fucking amazing.
yep. It has no need to be on this not good album.
This is the
Is
only song that saved this album from like being thrown in the dustbin forever of nobody ever remembering the fucking record. This
yep,
was the song that really like helped save this record in
yep.
some respect.
Yeah, I mean, it's really rough that this closed out the 80s, you know.
Yeah, it sucks
But
that this was the final album of the 80s.
yeah, he had, he came strong with fucking Killing, and then he had Peace Cells, was a fucking banger, and then they came out with this, and it was just a fucking letdown. It just took the air out of your lungs, you know.
I agree completely, dude. And the same thing goes for Liar. Liar and 502, I don't remember for shit.
Yeah, no, well, liar, liar. It's actually one liar, but yeah, fucking liar sucked.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
remember that song at all.
no, no, and like I said, they were battling some hardcore stuff at this time. Wasn't this around the same time where he was recording Paranoid, or was that
Uh,
later?
I think that was a little bit later,
A
if I'm
little bit
not
later.
mistaken.
Okay, yeah, but yeah. So, what's your favorite song
In My
on this
Darkest Hour,
album? Yeah, yep, same,
100%.
same. I think it's also the best song on this album. Easy.
So what's funny is, and the reason why I bring this up is because this album and Justice for All came out in the same year in '88, and fucking this uh this album fails in comparison to Injustice for All. I think
Yep.
Injustice for All is the last true great pure metal album that Metallica put out, still to this
Mm-hmm.
day, and it fucking's a banger. Did you want to talk about a skull crushing album from start to finish, a strong opener and a strong closer? Fucking Injustice for All, dude, nails it. This album, sorry, it's
Nope.
forgettable.
I agree. I agree. If it wasn't for that one song, this album would not be an album.
Yep, I agree. Like this and Hook and Mouth and In My Darkest Hour were the only two songs that are memorable from this record, in my opinion.
Yep. I agree. Um, so let's go ahead and with the three albums that we discuss, let's do album covers. What's your favorite album
That's
cover from the
fun.
80s?
For me personally, probably Peace Cells. It was
Easy.
iconic. You know, you had the world on fire behind, Vic Rattlehead.
Yep.
He's leaning up against that sign, that is just emblematic of what the album was about
Yep.
and the feelings that everybody had at that time frame. And I think for the 80s go, it was the most memorable Megadeth album cover because of what it stood for.
Yes, I agree. I agree. This was my first Megadeth vinyl that I bought because the album cover kicked ass.
And again, going back to So Far So Good So What, speaking of album covers, what the fuck is that album cover?
You
Dude's
know
like on
what?
a fucking planet. Like, what the fuck is the album cover?
It's so far so good. um, I don't think they thought much what they were doing with this fucking album, and they go from the cover to the songs to just everything about it. They didn't think much of it at all.
Now, I know I'm going to get shit on by the comments because people are going to say, well, it was more of a fucking, political stance of everything that was going on because of Mustaine's lyrical writing of this album, of everything that was going on in the world. I get that, but you could have done a better fucking album cover than this. Looks like, if I didn't know shit, I thought this was like some fucking space movie,
Yep.
fucking Predator in space or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, this album cover has nothing to do with what the fucking album represents other
No.
than Vic, like in the fucking military garb and shit. Like, other than that,
Yep.
album cover sucks. Sorry.
Yep. I agree. I
I
agree.
even have a poster of it somewhere in my fucking room here too, somewhere. Why I
Yeah.
have it, I don't know, but I have it somewhere.
I don't know either. But yeah, easy fucking Peace Cells is the best album cover.
Yep, and I also think Peace Cells was the best Megadeth record of the '80s.
I 100% agree. Well, that concludes our 80s episode of Megadeth, our first of our 4-part series. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, follow us on X, follow us on Instagram at Riffs and Rasslin. And yeah, hopefully you all stay tuned for the next 3 parts.
of the legendary Megadeth, man. They're wrapping it up soon. They got one final album, one final global tour, and then they'd be done, dude. Sad, but all the greats come and go, man. And they had their run, and very appreciative for Mustaine and Megadeth for what they did in my life, dude, and how much they mean to me. And it's fun to go and do these specials, special episodes on Megadeth for such an iconic fucking band, dude. And I can't believe that this first hour went by so fast.
It did. It did. It flew by, and that's only 3 fucking albums that we talked about.
3 albums, and they have plenty more in the 90s that we got to get to as well.
They do. So our next episode is, of course, the 90s, and they have a good, man, 5 albums in the 90s.
Yep, and some are great, and
So-
some are okay.
And we'll get all into it on the next episode. We will be probably doing some in-betweeners so we can break up, so we're not just doing 1 through 4 right off the bat. But hopefully y'all stay tuned.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate y'all being here and watching us on, whether it's on YouTube or listening to us on Spotify. And like my brother said, don't forget to like us on X and Instagram, Riffs and Rasslin. You can't miss us.
Perfect. Peace out, guys.
Later.